Hello, everyone. This is Dasha, and this is How and Smart Podcast, a podcast where we talk about creative leadership and everything's related. And today we start with our season number 2. I have enough time, energy, and resources to make this podcast right now. Um, and I want to talk today about pain and joy of being an artist. I started to immerse myself into content that is related to artists, on how we create products, on how hard it is to create products. There are like super great YouTube channels that highlight this topic. But what I started to understand that um for most people, and I talk about like artists, for most of us, it is such a hard like path, and it requires so much courage, it requires so much vulnerability and like resistance and strength to continue creating your art, because of two factors, and these are external factors and internal factors. An external factor is that when you start creating something, people will always say that you're doing it bad, you're not enough, or you're like too much. In my case, because that's what people say. You're going to be perceived as something like very not usual, not unique, like very like unpredictable, and people in general don't like new things. So when you create something, most people will criticize you. And like, let's speak honestly, that when you start creating something, the quality of your product is always, well, not always, but in most cases, it's low. So, and for like most of the people who don't have vision, they basically only value the quality of the product. And in terms of art, it's very dumb idea. But like, so you have this external factor, right? So the audience is not ready for your product, and they not only dislike it, but they also say mean things about you. They could say that your work is sucks, you don't have to like continue doing that, that one day that you should like go and do like some kind of like regular job. And also external factor is that um with the fact that you choose to go this artist way, you probably are going to have lots of challenges, because it's not a like, nine to five job. Just like you will have lots of struggles that are connected with the life of an artist. And there are also internal struggles, right? So like, are you satisfied with the product that you created? Are you saying the best that you can say? um is this the ultimate form? And most importantly, do you feel that this like work is done in the most perfect way? So being an artist is a hell of a ride. And when I think about the creation itself, I understand that art is more about pain than about joy. But this pain is joyful too. So let me explain it. I'm sorry that I'm talking with such long pauses. I'm thinking. So let me explain. For most of us, when we mm, live our lives, we are the collection of stories of our parents, our grandparents, our nation, our humanity. And in these stories, there are lots of pain, a lot of pain. And people were doing mean things, people were acting mean. There were lots of murders, there were lots of deaths, there were lots of struggles. And right now, I don't think we have like this kind of condition in the world, except a few places. But in general, I think like the humanity is becoming more human. But you can't hide it. And for example, as I live in Armenia, people here, um, they have so much pain inside of them that they just like basically, mm, they want to find someone to live in this pain, and they lie to each other. And it just like, for me, it's such an interesting process of discovering how people deal with pain, basically by sharing it instead of love. Um, but when you have art, art is the ultimate form of letting go of pain. And this pain even may not be yours. I'm sorry. This is very emotional for me because because it's very personal. So um you probably know my story, but I will repeat it so that the background and the foundation would be like more solid. So I've been struggling with mental health issues for 10 years. It was like a constant work, and I like, of course, like win, as you can see. And after that, there was a 3 years of constant struggle on a very different topic. Um, and I was like asking myself, like, why so? This topic is not that hard. And it took me around, I think, 2 years to figure out that actually this topic is not mine only, it's our family's topic. And I somehow feel that I have enough power um to go through this pain, not to like jump away from it, not to hide away from it, not to run away, but feel it, and feel it in that way that actually I would not I would just like, I think that if I would know that this path is going to be so hard, I will now not go that way. So, and I understand that, like, with collecting all these like situations that my family had and me having the same situation, I understand that somehow I changed something in my DNA that mm, that um that basically will not go to my children. And this indeed is not an easy process. And same goes, um, and to process this pain, to just like I was in a very painful situation for these 3 years. You just like guys can't imagine in what situations I was. I was constantly receiving threats. I was living under like huge pressure. I was alone in like another country. So it was very hard for me to concentrate and just like do like what required me to do. And what helped me along the way was basically art that I created, because I found so many beauty in terms of creating something as a process of healing. And I think that without that art, I would not succeed in the first place. Because I think that even the fact that, like, I was, like, I've gone through this situation and ended up with, like, a success at the end, is only connected to the fact that during all that I was creating, and I was recording podcasts, I was creating content, I was making products, and I was constantly living through this pain. I was feeling it. I was not hiding from it. I was not running from it. I was going into it, and I was feeling it to the max until like basically my jaw will start to shake, and then I would go and, I don't know, create a song. You don't know how many songs I created through this like process. And so this is like the illustration on how, like, within this beauty of pain, you can find the source of joy, of the source of overcoming, and the source of ending and healing the world with healing yourself and healing your family and healing others. And now let's wrap it up with this very beautiful story from my life. So, a friend of mine, he is a doctor, and he's doctor with a like sports qualification. So basically, he works with sportsmen. And I once broke my leg, knee in particular, and went to the other doctor. And the other doctor told me to wear braces, just like it's some kind of like thing that fixes your knee. And um, I was with my friend once. We were drinking, hanging out, and we're just like having fun. And he would just like, Dasha, don't do that. Don't wear a brace. And I was like, but doctor told me to do that. And he told me, yes, but it's his job because he wants you to keep safe because otherwise you will like he will have more responsibility. Trust me. You just like you have to let go of these braces and start walking. You will feel pain a little bit, but the more you walk, the less pain you will feel. And I was like, I won't do that because I am like the person that trusts the doctor. Even like though my friend is a doctor, it doesn't matter. I just like I trust my doctor. And then I was like, I was telling him, like I have this kind of issue to my friend. And he was like, that's because you don't trust me and you don't understand that you have to go through this pain, like step by step. Don't like make any like big steps. Just like let go of this bracelet and start walking. We're going to be with you. We are going to be with you. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. And I remember actually, not propaganding anything, but we were very like high and not on smart. And I remember that I was like, I am ready. Let's do that. And I remember that I took off this like braces and I started walking and like in this kind of condition, I started to sense pain, but I was like conscious enough to basically feel it and then just like feel how it goes away. And I was just like feel the pain and it goes away. And I remember that moment when I started walking and sensing the pain, but like the more steps I made, the less pain I felt. Same goes with art. Yes, indeed. If you're an artist, or even if you are not an artist, if life faced you with some kind of drama, pain, I don't know, dramatic situation, use art to heal this pain. It will hurt you, but then it will bring you so much joy of freedom because it will help not only you, but your family, your nation, and the humanity at the end. Done.